exam, anti-glare lenses, and same-day service for only $79.
Morning, afternoon, night, Monday through Sunday, 24/7. Our first alert commitment to you is now 5 meteorologists, always tracking weather that impacts you, telling you what we know as soon as we know it. All the tools, the latest technology, and the largest team of 5 meteorologists. First Alert is our investment in your family's safety. News 12, NBC 26 First Alert weather on your side.
All right, what do we got?
.com!
Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Our First Alert weather team keeping a close eye on the chance for some severe weather moving in this weekend. And you can see here the entire region is pretty much included in that alert.
So let's kick things off with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale to bring us up to speed.
Yeah, guys, we are going to be in a very active pattern over the next couple of days. For Friday, it's going to stay cloudy, chance for a few light showers. The main event's going to be early Saturday morning between 3 and 7 a.m. That's when the severe threat's going to be moving through the region. Behind those storms, those will move out early Saturday, but into our Saturday afternoon, it's still going to be very gusty outside. We could see wind gusts between 35, 45 miles an hour, possibly even higher than that in a few locations heading later into the day on Saturday. Once all that's over with Saturday, we have to worry about temperatures all the way down into the mid and low 20s early Sunday morning. We actually do have a freeze watch in effect for that time frame already. Here's a current look at Doppler Max radar. We've been cloudy, patches of drizzle, light rain throughout the day, but generally mostly dry at the moment outside of just those drizzly conditions. Into tomorrow morning, we'll keep the chance for some light rain, temps in the upper 40s to low 50s. Higher rain chances, though, late into the day on Friday afternoon. And then Friday night into Saturday, here you go, folks. Early Saturday morning, that severe threat starts to fire up. We'll have much more on this forecast in just about 10 minutes.
None of us on the city were homeless experts.
The non-experts are members of the Homeless Street Outreach Team, marshals, deputies, a pastor, a reporter, among others. The homeless experts, the Salvation Army.
The outreach team found barriers keeping people from accessing services in Augusta, and they shared eyewitness accounts with the Salvation Army just 3 weeks before commissioners will vote on a plan to help the city's growing homeless population. Our I-Team's senior investigative reporter Liz Owens has been investigating the homeless crisis for more than 6 months now and shared her findings at Wrdw.
Local and state government, combined with dozens of nonprofits together, make up a system of resources for people at risk of homelessness or already homeless in Augusta. Despite all the programs and funding, we found people unable to access help within the system, at least and not until we and other members of the community got involved.
Lieutenant Danny Whitehead, Richmond County Sheriff's Office, a veteran to field operations, but a rookie to the system of getting help for the mentally ill woman he found in a field off of Skinner Mill Road.
I'm here to talk about my friend Ashley.
We introduced you to Ashley last year. At the time, we called her Sunny to protect her identity. Ashley was cold, wet.
I returned with a blanket and an umbrella to my peace officers, Ashley.
And disconnected from reality when the street outreach team found her.
Ashley graduated from Augusta State. Ashley was an elementary school teacher in Columbia County. Ashley was a mother. Ashley, because of her mental health, because of her schizophrenia, it had robbed her life, of her family, of her job. She had exposed her son to 6 months.
A state hospital released her, bussed her back to Augusta, and left her to figure it out alone. The lieutenant and other team members did what a case manager should have done. They got her to a local doctor, into a motel, and reunited with her family.
I was there when Ashley started her son to her disease in 6 months. She cried, I cried, I could hear her son cry.
Today, Ashley has her family, a job, and housing again.
When I'm feeling I was not alone, they brought me home, food, and coffee to the hotel. Their attitude and action encouraged me to find a job and a place to live. With your involvement, I have my story and help you to assist other people in similar situations.
Luke Nide, outreach pastor, First Presbyterian Church, man of faith, not a man of the homeless system.
On December the 8th, I met a man, I call Quinn, he's my friend. Quinn had been homeless, he'd been in the system for 2 years. He stayed in the Salvation Army a lot
Buster found twin under a tree.
I went to so many different places and got so many juvenile homes.
Twin says the never-ending cycle of closed doors of subsidized housing only opened with the pastor by his side.
And I am not homeless no more. We got apartment, ID, birth certificate, whatever I need. Candy goods, all of that.
Sean Rhodes, Richmond County Marshal. She knows the streets, not the system to get people off of the streets.
We're going to talk about sweet charity. We're not supposed to get emotionally involved with these individuals, but it's hard not to do that.
We were there when the team found Cherry in the parking lot of Sacred Heart.
Bill Gates know who I am. Former President Trump knows, so if you call and ask them, they will confirm it. I just want to go home to my house.
Cherry has a home in North Augusta. She's imprisoned on the streets, not by her finances, but by her mind.
There's only one option left for Jerry other than the street, and it's guardianship and conservatorship. They are what we're praying for. So that's what we did.
The marshal did what a caseworker with the state did not do, got her off the streets and got her help.
And she is happy. Her mind is clear. And we suspect that it will not be long before Jerry back in her home like she deserves to be.
And then there's me, Liz Owens, News 12's I-Team. Investigates societal issues, not a social worker.
A year ago, Alicia was not in the situation she's in.
Alicia had a job in an apartment, but a domestic violence situation and high-risk pregnancy left her and her children in a broken-down SUV. I met her on a cold January day when snow was on the way.
All the calls that I made Friday,
And these are to who? Who did you call?
all the agencies in Augusta.
So that's Salvation Army, Marion
Barnes, Bright House, Family Promise, Safe Homes, and a lot of others that was on Google.
And nobody
Reach back out.
I made calls to the people I knew on the task force, and I walked her into the shelter a couple hours later.
I made more calls when she needed car seats in order to receive a cab voucher to get her son to school.
Is there not someone that could step up and say, oh, you need car seats? Like, we have a lot of nonprofits in town. Have you heard anything from Marion Barnes?
No, I emailed them and called them yesterday. I haven't heard anything yet.
Still nothing?
No.
And again when she needed help filing for child care assistance.
I can't help but think that 20 days later, that kid would have missed less school, would be less behind, and she might be further up the wait list because there is a long wait list for CAPS and Head Start. If that had been done on day 1 or day 2.
I told Alicia to put her name on the waiting list for Family Promise, a local nonprofit that assists families with housing, childcare, and employment. 3 weeks later, this Wednesday, she texts, long story short, I'll be in next Monday or Tuesday. We will be staying in one of their homes. I'm so grateful and glad I met you.
So guys, this is the cycle. And I want to tell you that you can break the cycle. My dad was homeless when he was a kid. He grew up in poverty. He spent time in foster care. I grew up one domino away from homelessness, and when my dad lost his job, I became homeless. If you come from a big family like mine, 9 of us, you wear out your welcome pretty quick. But it took a community to help us, and I know this community can help the people here in Augusta, the families.
4 people freed from the revolving door of dead ends.
We need to get some more of me off the street.
Not by people within the homeless system, but members of this community.
We can do this. Don't take relationships. No people. Don't use those existence. No person.
So where do we go from here? Since our reports, the Salvation Army has already made some changes to make access to the shelter easier. They're also in the process of developing a day shelter. The school board voted just this week to fund a van to transport homeless students to school. Commissioners will vote on a plan to address housing and homelessness later this month, and we'll keep you posted on what that looks like.
Such progress and such important reporting, Liz Owens. Thank you. Gas prices up again today. According to AAA, the average price of regular gas per gallon in Augusta saw a 7-cent jump to $4.19 a gallon. Near Aiken, up to $4.12 a gallon, almost a 10-cent jump from yesterday.
And here's a live look at people filling up their tanks before heading home. Those lines have been so long lately. This is at Costco, and yeah, it's pretty much to the back of the parking lot.
Yeah, and just a footnote, you do have to be a member to take advantage of the Costco.
Don't show up without that card.
Don't do that. Still to come here, we're going to head over to Macon, where one of our local high school basketball teams is bringing home a state championship. Sports is next with Nick.
And we do have a first alert in effect starting early Saturday morning, continuing into the afternoon. Much more on that forecast just after the break.
Time and temp.
Even if we can't protect them from themselves. Ready? Yep. 3, 2, 1.
Now, your first alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale.
Well, heading into the weekend, it is going to be getting very active weather-wise, folks. We do have a first alert weather day starting early Saturday morning, lasting all the way into the afternoon. And then even on Sunday morning, we still have a first alert in effect for a hard freeze. So hopefully you haven't put any sensitive vegetation in the ground just yet, because intensely cold temperatures expected on Sunday. Here's a look at the first alert. So we are expecting a line of strong storms to be moving in starting around 3 a.m. Saturday and moving out by around 8 a.m. Saturday morning. So it's going to be a quick moving line. But even behind the storm threat, we're going to stay very windy with wind gusts possibly as high as 40 miles an hour at times Saturday afternoon. Currently speaking, just cloudy across the region. We have seen some patches of drizzle, which the radar really struggles to pick up on. So even though it looks dry, you may be seeing just some light showers across the region. We do have a boundary just south of us. So since we're on the north side of this boundary, that's why temperatures have been well below average for us, generally only topping out to the 50s earlier this afternoon. This is our main front that's going to continue to develop and be moving east. That's what's going to bring us to the line of storms heading into late Friday night and early Saturday. Let's take a look at it hour by hour for you. So for the rest of this evening into tonight, cloudy conditions, temps in the 50s, dropping into the upper 40s by tomorrow morning, and there could be some patches of light rain and patchy dense fog across the area for the first part of your Friday. Rain chances only increase later into our Friday afternoon, so that's going to prevent us from warming up too much again tomorrow, most likely below normal high temperatures again on Friday. Watch what happens, though, as we head past midnight Friday into early Saturday morning. This is going to be our line of showers and storms that starts to roll through the region. Could be producing strong wind gusts. There is going to be a lot of wind shear, so a lot of twisting and turning with wind speed as you go up and heighten our atmosphere that could create a tornadic threat for us. This line will be moving east as we head later into our Saturday, most likely mid-morning, and by the afternoon we're looking at plenty of sunshine. But notice temperatures will be dropping during the day on Saturday, so once that sun comes out, those temperatures are not going to be increasing. They'll actually be dropping into the 40s and then waking up into the 20s by the time we get to Sunday. Here's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. They do have the entire CS array underneath a slight risk for severe storms. So that's a 2 out of 5 on our threat scale. And the main concern is still strong straight line winds, but with the amount of wind shear in our environment, by Saturday there still is that threat for a few tornadoes as well. This is a greater look at where the greatest potential is going to be for tornadoes to form. So once again, a low percentage-wise, but the brown area you're looking at here is where the greatest chance, if there were to be any tornadoes, most likely would fall into this region. So that really highlights areas south and east of I-20. Once again, it looks like the interstate will be our dividing line for where that severe weather threat looks highest. Now, the gusts are also going to be a concern. So we'll see some strong gusts with these storms as the line moves through early Saturday. This is around 7 a.m. But remember, the storms move out early Saturday morning. Into the afternoon, it's going to be sunny and very windy. Our wind gusts will be between 35 to 45 miles an hour across the area. This is definitely enough to knock down some tiny tree limbs that could just land in the right spot, maybe cause a few isolated power outages across the area. So very active weather, folks. Remember, the chance for rain continues Friday. Those storms move in Saturday morning. We have the hard freeze Sunday morning. And remember, Sunday morning, time's going to be a little bit different for us. We do spring forward as you head to bed Saturday night.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Butler and Westside have met 3 times this season. The Bulldogs won the first 2. Westside won round 3 in the region championship. Today they meet for a 4th time here in Macon with the boys' 2A state title on the line. Westside's Jerry Hunter looking for his second title. Butler's Cervantes Body looking for his first. Bulldogs came out hot as Jamarian Blanton hits the three. He had 4 triples in the first half. At the end of the first quarter, Chance Fingland misses a shot but gets the tip in to go. Butler led by as many as 13 in this one, but here comes Westside. J. Lex Ewing on the break throws one down that nearly blows the roof off the Coliseum. The second half was all Westside. The defense locked down, the offense locked in. Ewing had a game-high 16 points. Amari Tillman chipped in 14 more. And for the first time in nearly 30 years, the Westside boys basketball team is state champions.
Hey, I told y'all we was going to get it done. And I feel like these guys, we just as talented as anybody. And I love these group of guys, man. I couldn't do nothing. We can't do nothing without each other. I love my team.
So we've got our first GHSA state basketball champion this year, Westside, winning their first title since 1995. These two coaches and programs have so much respect for one another, and that showed out here on the court this evening. We've still got 2 more chances for state champs here in Macon. The Cross Creek boys go for the 3A title, and the Grovetown boys go for the 6A title. Those are both coming up here tomorrow. We'll have that right here on News 12. Reporting from the Macon Coliseum, Nick Proto on your side.
Great coverage tonight, Nick. Thanks for that from Macon. The fight against blight. We head to Regency Mall, where state lawmakers may be offering leaders in Augusta a new tool.
Plus, the armed forces are turning to the CSRA for future leaders in the world of cyber. How federal funding headed to Fort Gordon could help.
The Live by Camera Network is brought to you by
9.
New video of the old Regency Mall today shows it is still an eyesore. Shocker, right? City leaders have been trying to get rid of this rundown building for years. It's been almost a year now since the blight ordinance passed in Augusta, but Regency Mall still standing.
News 12's Kennedy Harris is live there now. So, Kennedy, the goal here is to speed things up, to try to get rid of these big eyesores. But can the state help solve this faster than the city?
Yeah, it just might speed things up. A little over a year ago, the owners started some type of demolition here, but as you can see, it really hasn't changed much other than just leaving a big hole in the side of the building. And it's been like this for several months, but it's been empty for 20 years, and the city hasn't been able to do anything about it.
Big, empty, and run down. What used to be a thriving mall hasn't been much in 20 years.
Not only is it an eyesore, it takes down the surrounding communities.
That's why Senator Jones is hoping a bill will change it.
If we can't go the normal blighted property right, but we have this superstructure that's been empty for so many years, what do?
Normally, a city can use the power of eminent domain to take blighted properties without question by paying the owners the fair market value. But that power has restrictions when it comes to large, privately owned commercial properties like Regency. Jones' bill would make it easy for Augusta to take large vacant properties at a low price.
The way the blighted law was written, it basically shielded these particular properties, and there's no way of getting around it. So this was pretty much the only way to do that.
The city is also looking to tax Regency's owners under the blight ordinance. Even though the ordinance passed last summer, the city hasn't taxed anyone yet. Code enforcement says Regency is on the top of the list.
Well, the key thing is that it'll actually speed things up.
If the bill passes and the city decides to use it, Jones says the process would depend on how long it takes for the city to figure out what to do with the property.
Because you don't want to necessarily use the power or even buy it even for fair market value just to have it sit yourself. So you have to come up with something to do with it.
Now, code enforcement told me they were aware that the owners have some type of plan in place for the property, but other than making a big hole in the side like you just saw, no one's really sure what that plan is. Now, the bill still has a few hurdles to go through, but the plan is to have it passed and signed into law by the end of this year.
Hopefully that'll come true, Kennedy. Thanks for the update there. Cyber facilities on Fort Gordon can
freeze watch in effect on Sunday. Another look at the forecast just after the break. Well, with the very active weather pattern anticipated over the next few days, it's a great time to let you know that the First Alert weather app is something you should definitely have in your back pocket. This is a great way to stay on top of any latest weather alert issued for your area. The interactive radar is a great tool to have once the storms start, and you'll also get any type of weather alert that is issued for your area, something that you won't get unless you do have an app like that downloaded. Now, for us, the weekend forecast looks pretty dicey. Remember, the severe weather threat's going to be early Saturday morning. Temperatures will drop into Saturday afternoon, and then we're looking at a hard freeze waking up early Sunday.
Riley, thanks. That's going to wrap things up for News 12 at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you tonight at 11.